Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Come on in. Come on in. Another episode of Car Chronicles, child. We got a lot to talk about. I didn't go live yesterday because I didn't go in that dang office. Y'all know I go live when I drive into the office. I did not drive into the office yesterday. So come on in. We got some things. We got to get caught up. Got a lot to talk about. Try to keep you in the know. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot going on out here in these US streets. Come on in. We're going to talk about it. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. I be having my notes. It's a lot to get into. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. Coming in strong for the month of September. I'll just say that. We coming in strong. What's today? It ain't even B-Day yet. It's September 3rd. B-Day tomorrow. Beyonce birthday tomorrow. It ain't even B-Day yet, y'all. It's going down. There's a lot going on. Y'all better keep up. Take notes. Y'all hope y'all be taking notes on this stuff I be coming here telling y'all. I promise y'all I don't be making this ish up. Some of this stuff sounds so crazy to where life would be better if I was making it up. You know, how many of y'all think that life would be better if I was making up Trump being the president? How about that? Not everybody is here for his leadership. Not everybody's here for his leadership. And we talk about that over here. We talk about the whys. Like, why? Why they don't like that man? Why y'all don't like that man? Why do you not like Donald J. Trump? I don't know. A lot of people don't like him. You got a lot of people that rock with him, but the list of people who don't. So come on in. I want to talk about things that are popping off this week in these American streets in the US of A. Come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to talk about Chicago, these National Guards, child. Listen, they on their way. Trump said, don't worry about when we coming. They asked that man yesterday at that press conference, Trump, when y'all going to Chicago? Yes. I ain't say when, but yes, we going. We are. Tell the governor over there in Chicago to holler at me, because the word on the curb is going down in them Chicago streets. Before, after, and during the conferences when he say, we don't need your help, President. We do not need your help, Donald Jaquavius Trump. So them people that told that man so many times, we don't need your help. How many times did DC say it? Everybody been saying, Trump, we don't need your help. We got this. As more and more lives continue to be lost. It's that part for me, y'all. It's the I don't need you part, but the data that shows I need you part. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's like, it's that for me. Y'all like the video. Don't do me like that. We got 1 like and 77 of y'all in here. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. And that's what we're going to do, because this is what we do on Car Chronicles. So, Trump and a crew, they're gearing up. Well, I say Trump and a crew, but it's likely Trump will not be there in Chicago. I don't know. He might do a cameo. He might show up out there. I don't know. But I do know that the National Guard, ICE, you all heard of the name Gregory Bovino? Like, that's a new name for me. I just learned his name today. So apparently, like, I'm used to hearing Bordazar Tom Homan. Y'all know who Tom Homan, the white guy, bald head guy, the one to be standing on business some of the time, all the time, that Tom Homan. I know who he is, but I just learned of a Gregory Bovino guy. So apparently Gregory Bovino, he was like the chief. Let me see what I wrote down. He has a position. Oh, he already had a position over in what, Texas. He got elevated, child. Trump gave him a raise. He got elevated. He did. Trump gave him a raise. He was a chief, the Border Patrol chief of Texas. Y'all heard of him before? Gregory Bovino, Border Patrol chief of Texas. So Trump was like, you know what? We got a few extra dollars in the budget. We got a few extra dollars in the budget. We about to upgrade you. Let me upgrade you. I told y'all tomorrow Beyonce birthday. Tomorrow B-Day. About to upgrade you. So Trump told Gregory, we about to upgrade you. You got a new position. You got a new position. It's serious out here. The new position is immigration enforcement. So he leads the immigration enforcement campaign. So what I learned is that, and y'all, I learned about him because the governor, Pritzker, was that JB? Is that his name, Pritzker? He was basically talking greasy about him on the podium in Chicago, just had that man name all up in his mouth. So it had me be like, well, who the hell is that? Because he starts saying, and Gregory coming, he bringing his ass, and we don't need him here. And he just trying to get photo ops, just like he did in L.A. And so I'm like, well, who is this man that the mayor is going in on? So I had to have the Twitter fingers and try to find out who this guy is. So Gregory Bovino, he leads the whole immigration enforcement. So whenever they rolling up deep into your city, Gregory is in the front. He in the front line. Gregory is in the front. So Gregory got upgraded. He got a new little position. So he leads the immigration enforcement campaign. So remember, first ICE was up in Los Angeles. Wow, I guess that was in June. ICE was in Los Angeles. So even though the people coming back saying they should, the National Guard shouldn't have been there. Y'all seen that where they said Trump broke the law when he had them folks go up in there or whatever, child. But nonetheless, he didn't already did it. So we didn't already moved on. Now he heading to a new city. He 3 cities in now. He going to Chicago with 3 cities in. So Gregory Bovino is kind of the leader of the pack. He's the leader of the pack of that. So because of Gregory Bovino lead the pack to Los Angeles, people ain't going to work still in Los Angeles out there. I was listening to this guy. I don't even know what his little title was, because y'all be all over the place with looking at these different news outlets. But it was this one guy, and he was running down numbers. And he was just like, in Los Angeles, there's been a decline in people reporting to work by 3.1%, which equates to about 465,000 people who ain't going to work. So what that mean? He said, ain't nobody standing outside at the Home Depot. This one illegal immigrant, he didn't want to be on camera, y'all. He was at the outside. He was like, listen, normally when I'm outside up here at the Home Depot, he talks saying it in Spanish, because y'all, a lot of them been over here a billion years, still don't know a lick of English, but I don't know, that's neither here or there. He's saying in Spanish, listen, when I be normally posted up out here at Home Depot, it be a cool 2025 people alongside of me, waiting to be picked up to go, do some work, earn an honest keep. But right now, he was like, it ain't nobody. I guess he looking to his right and left, and he ain't really seeing nobody, because people are afraid to go outside. So even though ICE, like I said, that was in June. They've since moved on. They raising up out of DC, if they raise up out, because I think I heard that Trump trying to get an extension to stay in DC. But y'all don't. I got to still try to research that one. I was listening to a report, and I heard somebody slide in and say, yeah, because that's Trump, his approval with stay. I said, wait a minute. So he trying to stay longer than the 30 days in DC? Because what he did, he was able to do it for at least 30 days. Anything past that, he'd have to get a special type of approval. So y'all stay tuned for that, because he might be working through something. But anyway, back to LA, the streets of LA, they're saying like the people ain't showing up to work. They also, a person who chose to not show their cell phone camera operating the car washes. He said, ain't nobody at the car wash washing damn cars. They said that normally they can pull in. Y'all, peep this how they get into the money, tax-free money. This guy in Spanish, off camera, with translator. He was like, yo, normally at the car wash, we can pull in $3,000 to $5,000 a day. Some of y'all might be thinking, God damn it, I'm in the wrong business. I'm in the wrong business. That's what I'm talking about. Carlos said, this is what we calling him, Carlos. Carlos said normal times, pre-Trump times, pre-second term Trump times, they could pull in $3,000 to $5,000 a day working the car wash. He said now, since people aren't showing up for work because people running scared or they done already got raised up out of here, he said they're bringing in like half of that. So that's about 1 to 2,000 a day. But still, y'all, who on this chat making $1 to $2,000 a day? This is what the illegal immigrants are getting to, tax-free money. How Uncle Sam counting them Carlos pockets at the car wash? Like, really think about it. Good morning, Virtuous. You finna be working this morning. Hopefully you gonna have some help. But you know, you the team lead, so I have no doubt you will hold it down. Who in this chat? What American in this chat? What citizen in this chat is getting to it like that? Let me repeat what Carlos had to say. Carlos said at the car wash, normally on a regular day, they pull in $3,000 to $5,000 a day. Now, remember, this is Los Angeles. So keep in mind, illegal immigrant, $3,000 to $5,000 a day. Normal times, I call normal times pre-Trump second term times. That is the type of money they were getting to. Trump came up in there and threw in the monkey wrench and messed all that up. He was like, no, sir, you ain't get. Who in here, who in this chat getting to it like that? Because that's how Carlos was getting to it. And right now he was like, yeah, we down bad. We only pulling in 1 to 2,000 a day, huh? Their down bad is still better than many of us Americans. So they're really in their feelings. They're like, nobody's coming to work. People are afraid. Let's move on to the construction sites. The construction sites, you're like, yo, they ain't even showing up to the list. And it's the bill. Ain't nobody showing up to work. We down bad. We are down bad. Like, everybody done got ghost. Everybody have gotten ghost. So they got this shortage in the workforce in these different fields that people, because remember Karen Bass, the mayor, said the majority, like half the population down there, probably more than half, is immigrants in Los Angeles. And I'm going to say of the immigrants, the majority of them are illegal. That makes up what she called the Angelinos. The Angelinos. So as we talk about these tough times and people not having jobs, I'm telling y'all where jobs are right now. Now, I don't know if you know how to wash damn car. You might want to learn, because Carlos saying that on a good day, pre-Trump days, they was getting to $3,000 to $5,000 a day. So go on and get your bucket, your squeegee, your Windex. Y'all don't be using no water. Don't be trying to wash the damn windows with some Dawn soap. I know we like Dawn and we be using it for a lot of ish. Get some damn Windex. I like Windex. I be seeing all these different concoctions. Nothing work like Windex. Go get your damn Windex. Don't be cheap, because you about to make your money back. So don't be cheap on the products now. Don't be cheap on the products. Go get your damn Windex. Go get your sponges, your bucket, and make it do what it do, because Carlos done told y'all how to get to it. J.W. said, Dawn is expensive. Listen, I done told y'all what to do. Carlos then said I ain't trying to miss me with the I ain't no job. I can't find no job. Carlos didn't already put you on. Carlos didn't already put you on. He didn't already told you how you can go get to it. The car wash. Now, for those of you who know how to doggone build a thing or two, all right, they down bad with construction. Nobody's showing up to the construction site. So if you know you got you some nails and a hammer, and you know how to, piecemeal. Listen, Listen, how many of y'all be at the house doing them home improvement projects and things like that? I'm telling y'all where the job's at, because in California, they said people are ghosts. They're not showing up to work because they are running scared. Good morning, Riza. They are running scared. Let me give y'all another reason why these folks finna be running scared. Y'all like this video as y'all come on in here. Don't play with me this morning. It's 130 of y'all in here. Come on, we get into it. Y'all know we be getting to it. That's why the hell y'all keep coming back to the damn channel. We get into it. Y'all familiar with the neighborhood checks for citizenship? Y'all ever heard of that? Apparently it's some old school, like, I don't know if I want to call it a policy, a law, but neighborhood checks for citizenship. Look into that. Remember, anything I say on this channel, y'all do your research, look into it, including the shortage at the car wash in Los Angeles. Look into that too. Neighborhood checks for citizenship. So y'all might be like, "She, what is that?" Okay, let me tell y'all what that is. It's like this process to where when somebody is going up or going through the application process for citizenship and being considered for citizenship here in the United States, there's normally interviews that are conducted with neighbors, employers, co-workers of applicants. So let's just say Maria comes over here. She's going to the immigration office. She's trying to do the process, whatever, to do what she need to do for citizenship. Part of the process, what's on the books that's supposed to be part of the process, but have gotten waived for the past 34 years, is interviews being conducted with Maria's neighbors, Maria's employer, and Maria's co-worker. That was once part of the process with becoming a citizen here in the US. And then they stopped doing it. I don't know why they stopped doing it or under who watch they stopped doing it, but my research shows that they stopped doing it about 34 years ago. It got waived. So that was just removed. So now Trump is going to, oh, they didn't already put that back into place. So that took August 22nd, 2025. So from my understanding right now, with the whole process and getting citizenship and all of that, it's kind of on like a pause. But if that is not the case, and it has started back up, or when it starts back up, this is now part of the process where you're gonna need to kind of, you know how you have your references like with a job and things like that. Think of it that way. You'll have to provide these references. So effective August 22nd, 2025, that started up. So anybody who's wanting citizenship here in the US, be prepared to have references. These references consisting of neighbors, employers, and co-workers. This is for the purpose of verifying the information that you are providing and your eligibility for U.S. citizenship. It is called neighborhood checks for citizenship. Look into it. Look into it. And the whole purpose of it is just to confirm, like, who you are, that you on the up and up, that you ain't over here on some terrorist type stuff. Like they're trying to talk to some people. Now some of y'all, yeah, because y'all know we're in these new times, everybody don't be talking to their neighbors like that. How many of y'all be like, "Shit, I've been living on this street for 5 years. Don't ask me my neighbor's name, because I don't know. I don't talk to them people. I know that lady next door nosy." So some of y'all be moving like that. But listen, if you're not an illegal immigrant, you are right, I guess, to continue to move like that. But if you are an illegal immigrant, then, and you living in a community where you ain't really effing with the people like that and really talking to them like that, you might need to start talking to somebody, because the part of the process with the immigration process to the approval process for you to get your citizenship is going to be interviews, and these interviews being conducted with neighbors, employers, co-workers. So keep that in mind. Um, as you're navigating through this process of getting your citizenship, spread the word. It's called the neighborhood checks for citizenship. Look into it. It's a real thing. I had never heard of it. Many of you probably be like, "Sheik, I ain't never heard of that." But there's been a 34-year blanket waiver. And I'm like, damn, who watch was that on where they said, nah, we ain't gonna do this no more. Y'all put in chat who was leading this country, who was leading the USA 34 years ago. So I'm 44, I'll be 45. So I was like 10, 11 around that time. I don't know who was leading. Are we going back to Reagan days? What year was Reagan in office? When was Reagan in the office? Was Reagan leading? Because they say that this waiver went into place like 34 years ago and it stayed. So Trump like, y'all, Trump coming in there blowing the dust off of old policies and laws. Y'all notice that? Trump not coming in there, you all kind of making up new stuff. He's utilizing things that's been on the books for years that nobody else have been utilizing. Y'all notice that? Reagan. Thank you, Angie Reagan, y'all. Because I was just thinking, I'm just as a little girl, elementary school, Reagan, his name was his picture, his face came up in my mind as probably somebody I was seeing as a child. That was on Reagan watch. So, but do y'all notice that Trump, when he's coming in and doing a lot of ish, he's basically falling back on laws that people hadn't been using? Is he wrong for that? Let's talk about it. Is he wrong for utilizing and falling back on laws and policies and things like that that has been on the books that people just were not using? Because since I've been covering this, Melissa, you say you noticed, since I've been covering political content since the top of the year, I noticed that he'll do things and people will be like in arms, and then it's just like, what is he doing? He making up stuff, and it's just like, no, no, no. And Kara be lying, they'll get up there, do their press conference, and they'll name out the law, the rule, whatever it is that they're doing to say it's something that's been on the books. And they just, like, for example, getting the illegal immigrants up out of here. Y'all, this man didn't make this shit up. He didn't come into office and make up the rule to say that if you ain't got your paperwork in order, you shouldn't be over here. He didn't make that ish up. This should be the rule. Nobody was just adhering to it. Is it his fault? Is it his fault that he didn't came into the picture and he's now enforcing things that are on the books? I ain't been to all the countries, but I've been to quite a few countries, and my experiences being in these countries is they uphold their laws and they expect for you to adhere to them. And if you choose, because life's about choices, if you choose to not adhere to these laws, they got something for you. Why we can't move the same way? Why the hell we can't move the same way? I don't know. It just seemed like the U.S. is the catch-all. Like, we the country to where it's just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, they got their rules and stuff, but we the USA, we accept everybody. We got to be different. We got to rise to the occasion. What Michelle Obama say, when they go low, we go high. But then y'all, now people like, hey, when they go low, we in the gutter. Like, what, like people ain't on their Michelle Obama really like that no more, because we see where they've gotten us. People on this type of time of we're matching energy. We're matching energy. And speaking of matching energy, I feel like Chicago, when the National Guards roll up into Chicago, I feel like them people there, the people in Chicago, are going to match the energy of the National Guard, meaning that I'm just feeling like that it's not going to be as controlled as it had been in DC when the National Guard was there. I don't know. Y'all know Chicago's that, I don't know what the people in Chicago call themselves. Y'all know they different. They different. And then mostly a lot of Chicago is people that look like me. So like when you see the people outside and they feelings about different things, a lot of them, you're seeing a lot of people of color. Like, we got a different kind of energy. And I'm just hoping that when the National Guards do arrive in Chicago, that we don't be, y'all know it be real different when we just start rowing up versus another group of people that start rowing up. It just be a different type of energy onto us as far as how we're dealt with, which is why over the last several months it's been this thing: black folks stand down, don't be outside, don't go out there in them streets, don't do this, don't do that. Chicago and them like F that. Like from what I'm seeing, they like shit. We about to be outside. They coming here. We ready. And that's why I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be a matched energy where they're just gonna be ready for the National Guard and try to challenge them in a way to where I don't feel like it's gonna be good. Um, as a whole, I don't feel like it's gonna be good. And I think a lot of the energy that they have is centered around, they know that their state leadership is kind of behind them. And I say that because the mayor there, the black guy, what's his name? The mayor there, he signed an executive order. His name Brandon Johnson. When he did that over the weekend, Brandon Johnson, y'all, signed an executive order called Protecting Chicago. And under this executive order, it's basically saying, yo, our law enforcement, we're not helping you. So you see how, like, when the National Guards were in DC, the police chief and all that, they didn't like the fact that the National Guard was there, whatever. But they're like, yo, we gonna do our part. We gonna help. You know, we don't really like it like that y'all here. We don't feel like it's necessary. But as long as you ain't trying to move me, you know, this is chief, you know, out of my position or whatever, my responsibilities, um, we gonna work with you. We're gonna be a team player. So that's what they did. And I believe that it always makes a difference when you work together as a team. Well, damn, Brandon Johnson, Mr. Johnson said, F that. We ain't helping nothing. And you know what? Chicago PD, for you all to distinguish yourselves from the ICE, National Guards, whatever, I'm gonna need for y'all to not have your faces covered. You need to make sure that your face is revealed at all times, because y'all know ICE, you know, they come lurking and they be having masks and all that. So Mayor Brandon was like, no, we're not covering our faces. We're going to be exposed so you all know who we are. And we're not backing, we're not helping, we're not supporting, we're not doing none of that. All that the ICE about to be doing, the National Guard, we're hands off. We're not doing it. So I personally feel that because he has that messaging out there, it has people, the citizens, to think like, oh, snap. They can kind of like, probably some of them gonna think that they can just do what they want to do and run amok, because it's just like, yo, the Chicago PD on our side, they don't even want y'all here. So if they ain't even respecting y'all and what y'all coming here to do, why am I finna respect? Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? If the governor and the mayor not respecting ICE coming up in town, National Guard coming up in town, why are the people going to respect that? Because to them, their leader is the mayor, the governor. I'm following your lead. I'm following your lead. And if your lead is with this energy on F ICE, F National Guard, then I believe that's the energy that the people gonna have. And it's that's not good. That's not good at all. Because my thing is, okay, Mayor Brandon Johnson, you say y'all gonna stand down, y'all not gonna help. But what happens when people really, really just start doing the absolute most, like people are capable of doing? Are you still gonna have your police to stand down, even though the ish that you're witnessing is just basically like evident that they're breaking the law? And but because you signed this executive order, and their reasoning for breaking the law is because they're trying to get away from ICE or the National Guard. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all see how this can create mayhem? Like, I think it's going to create confusion, because even the officers going to be like, well, damn, like, when do I step in versus nah? If I see some stuff going down, am I supposed to turn and look the other way? Y'all, don't this sound crazy? think about this scenario that I'm painting, because remember, the executive order is saying, hey, we're not helping. We're not helping. But what if you see stuff popping off that you need to deal with? Whether like, people gonna be taking advantage. I just, this is how I see it, and I think it's just gonna be bad. Now, it may not be this bad all the way through, but I think in the beginning, kind of like with Los Angeles, like in the beginning days, I think it's gonna be met with just a lot of pushback. A lot of people gonna be pushing back and intentionally trying to buck the system. And me personally, I feel I am in agreement with ICE and the National Guard going to Chicago, because y'all, it's bad out there. Have y'all seen those numbers just coming off of the holiday weekend? 50, what, 50? I think the last count I left off at on my notes, I have 54, but I think since my notes, the update is about 58 gunshots. People who are victim of gunshots, gun violence, 8 deaths. Y'all, this is all over just the holiday weekend. And then for the past consecutive, for the past 13 years, consecutive, meaning in order, and ain't no breaks. So if you got a 13-year-old, all your baby life, Chicago has led at the top spot for the most homicides, deaths centered around gun violence. So the part that confuses me, that I don't understand and I don't get, is that when you have numbers that are like that, how do you say in the next breath, we good, we Gucci, we don't need your help? I just be trying to understand, y'all. I just be trying to understand, because it doesn't make sense. How do you have numbers that look the way your numbers look, that looks far worse than anybody else's? New York, Los Angeles. How do your numbers look the way they look? And then you hollering, no, we got this, we're good. Our number, we're down by 22%. But here's the thing. Some categories, some areas, you might be down. But if your shit was on 10 and you down to 8, everybody else on 6, really, what is you saying? If you was on 10 and now you on 8, you thinking that you still ain't in the danger zone or still needing help? Because your numbers are still up there. It's that part for me. Yes, your numbers can go down, but just because numbers don't go down, that's like your baby. Your baby was getting an F, had an F last semester. Now they got a D plus. They like, mama, listen, I got a D plus. I'm gonna need for you to put some respect on this D plus. I didn't listen. It was, it was an F. I'm at a D plus. Why is you looking at me all cockeyed and side eyed? You know I was in the pits. I had an F. It's at a D plus. I don't understand why you're not appreciating my efforts. Why you still feel like I need help. Why you still feel like I need to go to that tutor who don't know nothing. Why I gotta still go to the tutor? I got a D plus. I ain't failing. It ain't an F no more. It's that for me. And it's just like, and as I say, y'all, it's levels to all of this. So even if, say, Chicago has improved in certain areas, maybe with the number of people who didn't getting murked every night, if your number went from 20 to 15, that's still bad. We ain't, we gonna celebrate a small win, but we not finna say that we can't use some help, because that's still high. And that's how I look at it. It's just like, yes, Chicago, your numbers may have been going down just like DC's, but if your numbers were still higher than most other cities, like, we still got to deal with that, because that shit is still high. Come on now. It's that for me. And then you getting up there on some type of energy of F Trump. Would forget him. I don't want him here. No, I ain't picking up the phone and calling him. But though you hear people in the media who live in the community in Chicago who are like, F that, them politicians talking crazy. Trump, how quick can you get here? We need you here like yesterday, because it's bad. It's bad. And as the governor goes and show and do these little commercial and advertisement and be along the water in the inner city of Chicago, they were like, he ain't going down them other streets. He need to go down them other side streets where it's on and popping. That's where it's on and popping. It's on them other streets. It's not in front of the big, beautiful buildings outside of the water, that little tourist areas. That's why I say, y'all, when we're tourists and we're going to places, we're viewing things from a different lens than people who are local citizens, because they know the nitty gritty. They know the ins and outs. They know really what's really popping off when the lights go off, when the tourists leave. They know. So the way they're looking at it, they're like, yo, like these politicians, they're talking about things from the perspective of their actual community, which is going to be a neighborhood. And when I say community, I'm isolating it to like your neighborhood, a neighborhood that might be gated, a neighborhood where they have security, a neighborhood where everybody can't just drive down that street. So they're protected. So they're like, okay, you're not speaking from a place of what everybody else is dealing with. Like I say, these side streets, these alleys, these where it's really going down. You ain't talking about O Block. Let's talk about O Block. Who know about O Block? If you don't know about O Block, go listen to any drill music, rap music coming out of Chicago. You're gonna learn about O Block then, because that was the first time I learned about O Block. And that was following the death of young black men who were in the rap industry getting murked by one another, like gang activity. I don't like you, you don't like me. You said this about my mama. You came on my block, like stuff like that. You all, that's activity that's taking place in them side streets that the governor wasn't on. Because if y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all seen them do that little clip, that news clip, and he's talking about how beautiful the city is, and he bought a water, and he wasn't on that side street. So the people in town like, no, we need for him to drive down that side street in his private car. I bet you he won't do that. I bet you he won't do that. So that's what they're like, shut up talking. We tired of you. Shut up. Let them come. Let them come. Because we need their help. We need their help. So I'm here for them, the Trump administration going there, if it's going to make a difference. Because quite frankly, as bad as Chicago is, like they ain't named that place Chirac for nothing. As bad as that Chicago is, I don't feel like it can become worse by the presence of ICE or the National Guard. I don't feel that at all. Just like DC did not become worse as a result of the National Guard's, like it didn't become worse. The numbers were good. They don't really talk about it like that in the news. What they said, 500 kids who had went missing was found. I recently learned that because I wasn't here. I didn't hear about any missing children being found during that time while he was there. About 1,500 arrests. And you all, this data that's being put out there centered around the win since the National Guard's been in DC, I haven't heard people rebutting them numbers. They ain't trying to talk about it like this, but they're not rebutting it, saying, no, that's lies. I have not heard that yet. If anything, I'm hearing rebuttals against how DC was saying how their numbers were down for the last, couple of years. And Trump administration, like, let me see some, because this math ain't mathing. Because if your numbers was down like that, it don't make sense for us to be seeing what we seeing like that. And I've had some people come in my comments talk about working in law enforcement and things like that before in DC and being directed to report things. You know how something really would fall under robbery, but they're told to categorize it underneath something else. You know what I'm saying? The switcheroo. So I've had people come in my comments and talk about experiences of things like that happening where it's misreported, intentional misreported information that will impact the numbers. How often is that taking place? How often is that taking place? So my thing is, the people who are against the National Guard, ICE, whoever, coming up into these cities that have high crime, I personally feel like a lot of it is centered around people who already ain't on the up and up. Because my thing is, if you living right and you on the up and up, and that's with anything, you don't have anything to worry about. That's what I tell my children. Do the right thing. If you living right, doing what you're supposed to do, you ain't got to look over your shoulder. You don't have to be trying to sleep with one eye open and one eye shut. If you living right, and a lot of these people out here ain't living right, including these politicians, Because I, just like I've said on my channel before, these politicians talking about we don't need National Guards, we just need money, we need resources. My question to that has been, nah, I'm wanting to know what you've been doing with the money, the resources that you have. Because I've heard recently in the news where some of the local people in Chicago saying that, nah, the resources, the monies that they have, they're misusing it. And I thought to myself, why? That was a thought that I had. I've never even been to Chicago. I like to visit Chicago, but let me tell you why I want to visit to Chicago. I want a damn pizza slice and a hot dog. There ain't no other reason why I damn want to go to Chicago. Yes, I said it. It's been on my list to get down there to get some food because I'm a foodie. I'm small. That's why I got to be walking all the time. I want a slice. I'm trying to see something when it comes to that food. I'm trying to be in and out. I literally can probably do a turnaround trip just for that little experience that I want. It ain't nothing deeper than that when it comes to going to Chicago. I honestly don't hear nobody talking about trying to get to Chicago unless it's centered around damn food. I'm just saying, let's talk about it. Who got Chicago on their bucket list? Who got Chicago on their bucket list? It goes down in Chicago. It does. It goes down in Chicago, and we know that. And I have faith that when Trump go there, they gonna be moving some furniture. That we gonna see some changes, and people gonna be in their feelings. People gonna be pissed off because he finna be interrupting their money, just like in California and Los Angeles. How a lot of them people down bad because they ain't going to work. People not showing up for work because Trump them then came up in there and regulated, put some order into some stuff, brought some order into some stuff, and that's what we need. So I'm like, again, I repeat, if you need a job, Los Angeles said, listen, we down bad out here. We down bad. If you need a job, come here because people are not showing up to work because Los Angeles is heavily Hispanic community, and a large number of them are illegal. Probably half of them, or more than half, the vast majority of them are illegal. They running scared, so they're not showing up to work. We need that effect in Chicago where them doggone people out there are running scared to where they not trying to be outside gang banging, shooting them up. We need that. That's what I want to see in Chicago, where there's a day reported where there was no lives lost, like what took place in DC. I think they said what it was for 11 days or something like that. No lives lost, but it's something, a record that they hadn't experienced in like a lot of years. I'm trying to hear that report for Chicago because I can't wait for that report to come out and then to listen out to hear what those who were against the Trump administration with the ICE and the National Guard coming up in there. I want to hear what they're going to have to say, because what do you have to say against reports centered around there were no lives lost in the past 24 hours, the past 48 hours? Like, y'all, what do you say to that negative when you're hearing a report like that? Well, that ain't nothing. I mean, we was on track to doing that ourselves if he would have gave us more time. Like, what do you say to where it makes sense when you hear a report that for the first time in X amount of years in Chicago, there were no reports of deaths. No one died from a gunshot. Or even if it was like a report of a smaller number than ever before, what do you say? That's why I'm looking side-eyed at these politicians, because they pushing too hard against it. And it's giving that they on some type of time, like that Cartel Zambada guy. I reported on that on Sunday. I did an impromptu live on Sunday. Check that out if you didn't. There's a cartel guy that the U.S. that we have in custody that's talking, singing like a bird. And he has implemented all of his country, New Mexico, all of his country, Mexico. Mexico. He said everybody is involved, from politicians to law enforcement. He was like, y'all think the cartels get into the money like we get into it on our own without supports? Y'all think we doing this on our own? Oh, okay. Well, I'm here to tell you that we're not. It's a system. It's systematic. Do y'all think that that only takes place in Mexico? Do y'all think that only takes place in Mexico where there's corruption in the government, where there's corruption in law enforcement? I'm just saying, y'all, you got to be able to peep game, because sometimes when you see a lot of people just do too much with pushing back against something, you got to stop and question why. What's the incentive? What reason do they have to give so much pushback to something that makes sense? I'm just saying, y'all, I be throwing these damn questions out here. I be throwing them out here because I be trying to make sense of stuff, and I don't ever claim to have all the answers. But I'm fortunate enough to have not one YouTube channel, but two, where when I got questions about the ish that's taking place in this world, I can come out here and bring them to you all and just hope that somebody got some type of answers, and we can work together to come up with some answers that damn make sense. That's what it's about. Each one teach one. That's why I call my my subscribers honor students, because we are students of life. We ask questions. We're not just trying to take what somebody just gives us. We trying to go see something. We trying to see for ourselves. Anything you hear me say, go research it. As you, this might, it might be news to you to hear about the them arresting this big cartel. Go research it. He got arrested last year underneath Biden's watch. He was a partner. He was a second hand, the right hand man to El Chapo. Y'all remember him? I think El Chapo, they arrested him in, I think they said 2014. El Chapo got arrested in 2014. So Zambada and El Chapo, they ran the empire together. They just arrested the Zambada guy last year with El Chapo's son. They arrested them both in Texas on a plane. Zambada was like, listen, that man kidnapped me. That's how I end up on his story was he got kidnapped. Listen, I don't know what little Chapo, baby Chapo's story was, but when they rolled up on them on that plane in Texas, Zambada said, listen, they kidnapped, he kidnapped me. Nonetheless, fast forward to current times, he's singing a different tune. He like, all right. Okay, I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk. Let me tell you how we was getting to it. Let me tell you. Y'all got time? You got time? Cause I ain't got nothing but time. Y'all trying to send me up the creek. I think the trial is supposed to be January 2026, which is when Abrego Garcia's Kilmar Abrego Garcia's trial was supposed to be. Listen, January 2026 is already set to be on and popping. Already set to be to be on and popping. So he was like, all right, yeah, like our government, everybody's hands in it. Everybody hands in it. So when I'm seeing stuff like this, just even in our country, and I'm seeing these politicians and how they move it, I'm like, hmm, hmm. I wonder what's motivating you, because it dang sure ain't the people. Because if you motivated by the people, you would be like, listen, Trump, all right then, gun violence is out of control. We've lost too many lives. Clearly, we can't handle this ourselves. What's your plan? Because we can't do this. That's the response for somebody who's really wanting to make a difference and try to save lives. Definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. And you got so many politicians who are willing, more than willing, to do that, to continue to do the same thing over and over again, but then still stand on the podium talking about change and vote me again, vote for my party. And black people, because we've been brainwashed to continue to vote Democrat, because to us, we've been told that's the black party. That's the party that's for the people. We continue to do it over and over again and not get a damn thing out of it. Not get a damn thing out of it. At what point do we say, you know what? This shit, what I've been voting on, what we've been doing, it ain't working. I'm ready to try something different. I'm ready to try something new. That was what was rooted in me voting for Trump. It was centered in change. wanting something different, seeing that, damn, what I've been voting on, how it hadn't been working. Now, granted, Trump is in here. He got his ways. He's doing some shit, and I'm not always here for everything that he is doing. But goddamn, there is quite a bit of things that I am here for that he's doing, because I see how it betters just the things for our country. Let's talk about Section 8 as we talk about change, because change is coming, change is inevitable. How many of you are Section 8 recipients or been on the list? For talking about, Sheik, I've been on the list for 5 years. My baby almost 6 years old. How many been on Section 8 for a long time, or you've been on the list waiting to get approved for a long time, or you know someone who has? Because according to the information I've learned, y'all like the video, because I'm getting into some things today. Like the video. Section 8. Right now, only 1 in 4 families get approved for Section 8. Why? Because there are a lot of people who are here illegally in the USA who are benefiting from Section 8. We're going to talk about it. Trump, he has signed, so he, remember like this whole, remember when we all were talking about the big beautiful bill, all these changes that were to be coming? Well, one of those proposed changes was a change centered around Section 8. Congress has to vote on this piece right here. They've been on break. I think they came back from break. Their first day back from break might have been yesterday or today. Congress has to vote on this piece centered around the Section 8. I'm gonna tell you what the changes are for Section 8. But y'all like the video. Stick around, Buttercup. You're gonna learn something today. I don't say that every some of you. So I'm just trying to share this information with you. Right now, Trump is wanting to crack down on Section 8 because he knows, he's seeing through the data, there are a lot of people who are on Section 8 who should not be on Section 8. People who are not legal citizens of the U.S. People who are working, who are able bodies. How many of you know people who are able bodies who've been on Section 8 all your life? How many of you are on Section 8 and been on Section 8 all your life? Starting from when you was in your mama house, and then you graduated high school, and then you got your own Section 8. We talking about generational Section 8. I've seen it. How many of you have heard, or you have been benefited of an inherited Section 8 where somebody else, grandmama had a Section 8 and she left it for grandbaby living in that house, that same Section 8 house, because long as that, you know, that rent, that little bit of rent that grandmama was responsible for continue to get paid, then there's no missing a beat. We talking about it. Trump is trying to change that. There are people out here who are able bodies, who are able to work, but they just choose not to, or who are able to do more than what they do. Because y'all know with Section 8, so part of the process with Section 8, with qualifying for it, is based on your income. So they got to see your income. So every so often, you got to show them, you know, checks and things like that. It's a process. My sister is a homeowner, multiple properties, and there was a time where one of her properties, she had it for Section 8. So I know things about Section 8 just from the process with her being a landlord and having a tenant. So the tenant just was responsible for a small percentage, maybe 30%, if that, just very small. Child, this woman's rent was just under $200. Once it hit about $350, the lady had to leave and move out because she couldn't afford that. She couldn't even afford that. Her portion, which was about $350, $320, she had to move out. So that's how that tenant ended up leaving the unit, because she was working overtime, and when she reported her earnings, the state was like, oh, bet, like, you make more money, so now you can pay more towards the rent. But remember, it was just overtime, which was temporary. But when she went back to working less hours, she wasn't able to get approval to go back to paying less money. So she fell behind on her rent, which resulted in her. My sister didn't evict her. She just didn't renew it. She just let her move out. She just, she didn't evict her. She just knew what the situation was. And the lady, she had been there for about 3 years, a great tenant, but it got to a point she just couldn't afford it. So my sister just let her move out or whatever. It was just like that. So it was nothing ever reported against the lady or nothing like that. But everybody, all landlords aren't the same. And the monies that my sister wasn't hurting as a result of this woman kind of falling short a little, because the bulk of the money was coming in from Section 8. The portion from the tenant just wasn't coming in consistently like it should. So Trump is like, yo, he's asking for all these agencies. So wherever there's these Section 8 agencies, which is probably likely in every state, multiple throughout your state, you have 30 days to show me the information for each of for all Section 8 recipients, their financials. He's trying to see how they are qualified, if they qualify. You see what I'm saying? He's trying to see this. And if you refuse, these agencies, these offices, if you refuse to provide this information, he's saying, hey, we're going to remove funding. And once funding is removed, guess what? There's not going to be Section 8, because you can't have the Section 8 without, the funding coming in. But you need to show me, okay, you saying you got 2,000 people in your community, whatever, who has Section 8 vouchers. So this is what he's saying, yo, I need for you to show me the information, the personal information for all of these people, so we can see how they qualify. This is how he's going about weeding out the people who do not qualify, weeding out the people who are not true citizens, who are not true American citizens. This is the process, you all. Also, part of this change is that he's with that big beautiful bill, like he's wanting to have a big cut to the program. He's wanting to cut it by like 51%. And then even with the cut, he's wanting the funds, he's wanting to put it in the hands of the states versus coming from the federal, because he figured like, okay, the state level, y'all know y'all needs of y'all people more than we do. So yes, we're gonna do a cut funds by about 51%. But with the funds you do have, it's going to be your responsibility with making sure that it's going to the right people. Also, there's going to be a 2-year limitation on being able to have Section 8, to be on Section 8, to hold that voucher. 2 years. So some of you, this may apply to you. Some of you may know people who have already been on Section 8 2 years, 2+ years, well over 2 years, all their life, 20, 30, 40 years, however long Section 8 has been a thing. Guess what? This 2 years don't start over from now, because Congress has to vote on all of this by September 30th. So all of this that I'm talking to you about Section 8, these are the things that Trump has proposed that has not been implemented yet, but it's already written out, and he just needs a signature. And he needs that, in that signature, he was waiting because Congress was on break. They're back from break now. So they have until September 30th to sign this. So from September 30th, remember I talked about this 2 years, you got the 2-year max time that you can hold a Section 8 voucher. Those of you who have already been on it for 2 years or more, you will have 30 to 60 days to move. Section 8 gone. Now, where you supposed to go, I don't know, but I done told you they hiring in California. So you know where they got jobs at. I done told you Los Angeles they hiring. The car wash, people at the car wash pulling in 3,000 to 5,000 a day. I done told you. Go get you some Windex, some sponges, a bucket, some water. Y'all know it don't take a lot. The working kit don't take a lot when you washing cars. When you washing cars. Section 8 is going to be gone. So that means for Thanksgiving, by the time Thanksgiving come around, Christmas, if your housing is Section 8 housing and you've already had that housing, that voucher for 2 years, that is no longer going to be your address. That is not going to be your address. And if it does remain your address, it is only if you will be able to pay full rent because your Section 8 voucher is being snatched. It's gone. 2 year limited. Now, those who are exempt from the 2 year limit will be your disabled, elderly. If you're not disabled or elderly, this will apply to you, the 2 year limit. So spread the word. I have faith that if you do live, you have housing from Section 8, I have faith that you can hold down housing without Section 8 because the vast majority of the people do. So what you are now going to be expected to do is nothing special. It's just going to be what the vast majority of the American people do anyway. You may not like it, but at the same time, you may find it rewarding that now you're actually getting to it yourself and you're not relying on the government taking care of you. I never desired to want to have the government give me anything. And some of you may have never felt that before with not being dependent on the government in some type of way. So it may be very scary for some of you. I get it. But no better time like now. See what you're capable of. Be an example to your children who've been watching you be dependent on the government the way you have. Show them that they can do better, that it is possible to not depend on the government. Because you know what happens when you depend on the government? You got to answer to the government. I done told y'all that Trump got to be all up in your financials. He trying to see something. He done told these offices, like, listen, I need to see how these people qualify. So that means them your personal little records and your check stubs, if you got any checks, all of that. The Trump administration will be looking at that. So if you want some type of time of, I don't want them in my business, I'm tired of them being in my business. Well, you can't be saying all that, but still having your hand out, wanting them to do something for you. You see how that works? It's like telling your mama, stay out my business, but mama's the one paying all the bills, paying your phone bills, buying the new J's, buying your clothes, the latest cell phone, but you wanna be treated like an adult. You don't want nobody telling you what to do. You want to be trying to slam doors and you ain't paid for nan door in the house, nan light. You don't even put food in the house. You got your little job. Mama don't even make you give her no money on nothing, but you in here talking about rights and having opinions. What's that? How many of y'all grew up like me where you ain't had no damn opinion? These kids, I say my kids, they got unsolicited opinions. Ain't nobody asked you what the hell you thought. How many of you grew up where ain't nobody was running around asking you how you felt about what? I know I don't have a memory. I don't even have a memory. I probably on what y'all want for dinner. Listen, I ain't got no memory of having an opinion. So that's new to me with these kids because I know I ain't taught my kids to have an opinion. It's like they came out the womb expressing themselves. Like, got all the opinion in the world. Ain't asked them a damn thing, but they finna tell you like you asked. I don't care how the hell you. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, it's like you want something for nothing. You want all these rights, all this freedom, but still want to be dependent, meaning you still want to have your hand out and be able to circle around and ask for whatever you want. But when there's something expected of you in exchange or in return, you got a whole problem and you sucking your teeth. There are so many people out here who are in their feelings about these changes to Section 8 or even food stamps and all these things that they've gotten for free. And the vast majority of these people are more than able and capable of getting to it themselves. They're so bold to be on their social media platforms, TikTok, telling you, laughing at you, saying you're just mad because you're not benefiting the way they are, that you're not smart enough, you not in on the hustle, you're just mad, you're just jealous. So that was TikTok number maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we got TikTok 6, 7, 8, and 9 with them crying. What the hell I'm supposed to do with $36 on food stamp when I was getting 3,000? Crying. What do you mean you not covering my child care no more? I got 7 kids. I can't have all these kids at the house with me crying. Y'all, I promise you, I don't come out here, I don't make this ish up. I come out here and I report the foolishness that's out here because my channel is centered around learning, being aware of the news and what's going on. This is the content that I choose to put out because when I started this second channel, let me tell y'all, give y'all the history of this channel. I started this channel I'm probably about to have my 1 year of this channel. This is my second channel. It's way out, just way larger now than my first channel. Now it is, because of this. I said, my second channel, I want it to be of something where it's going to make a difference for people. It's going to be some substance. I don't want to come have a channel that's on some bull. I want some shit that's going to make a difference for some people where I can share some information people where I can enlighten, because we got a lot of out here to where we don't need. So I didn't know what kind of information that was going to be, but I just knew the energy that I wanted to come from the channel. That's all I knew. I ain't know nothing else, y'all. That's all I knew. I just knew the type of time I wanted to be on. And I was willing to sacrifice the clicks and the views because the bullshit that I was doing on my other channel, it was getting the clicks and the views, which equates to money. Both channels are monetized. It was getting that. But although I was getting that, it was like it was about what it was taking to get it. And it just didn't sit right with my soul no more. And I said, you know what, as we just skip and hop into 2025, I'm not doing that no more. I'm doing something different. I promise, I said that to my subscribers. I said, I'm not doing that no more. As much as y'all want me to be on that type of time, all that foolishness, I'm not doing that no more. I can't. I'm not doing that. So 2025, I didn't look back. I spent time on this channel thugging it out, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, what kind of content I'm going to talk about, what's going to grab the people's attention, what's something of substance. Y'all, I didn't know. I didn't know what it was going to be. February came following January inauguration for President Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jaquavius. Any of you who ever wonder what J stood for, over here it stands for Jaquavius. Listen, February come. A lot of movement, a lot of people up in arms by the things from day one he started doing. Not day 2, day 3, day 4, day 1 with the pen. And a lot of things was impacting the lives of a lot of people, including myself, my family, people I knew, whether it's good or bad. And I said, you know what? I got something to say. And before I stayed away from politics because I was concerned about the following that I had, what they would think about my political views, until the day came where I didn't give a damn no more. It ain't nothing like not giving a damn. How many of y'all know that feeling where you come to a point in your life and you don't give up, you just don't care. You so removed from the bull to where you just don't even care no more what the next person think, because you gonna talk your talk, because you tired of biting your tongue, you tired of being silent, you tired of getting left crumbs, You just tired. So that's what happened. I had something to say, and I've been talking since. And now this channel is growing to almost 7,000 subscribers when I started in February it was under 600. This channel already well over 1 million views. Performs way better from views than the other channel because I'm talking about something that damn people give a damn about. It's so much, so many distractions out here and people just doing stupid. And it's just like, what are we doing? People ain't got jobs. People ain't got food on the table. People concerned about AI coming and taking over. People got student loan debt that's due and they ain't even got a job. Y'all, how you learning the same day you ain't got no job and then checking your email and seeing an email talking about your student loan bill due on the 15th? Like, this is real life for people. You're that people. I heard, I was listening to something and they were saying right now there are so many people who mental health is on a decline. Physical health is on a decline. And I get it. Hell, my head hurting now as I'm talking to y'all about all this popping off. I get it because it's so much going on to where it puts weight on you. Not having a job and you're the primary breadwinner. You're the only person in your house working. Or your livelihood is built off of not one income but two. Kenny said America is dying. These are different type of days. So anybody who talk about, oh, the economy is good, miss me with that right now. That's not true. And it's not about being negative or nothing like that. It's about speaking facts and the reality of the situation. I think, is it General Motors? I just heard they laying off like 300 and something people. Like some of these places to where they just straight just getting rid of you. It ain't even like no packages, no severance packages, nothing like that being offered. They on their Tasha K, we ain't got it. Like Cardi B had to tell that girl, we ain't got it. I ain't got it to keep the $24 million. Like people are on the, I ain't got it. I don't have it. So many people don't have it. So I can see how it's impacting people's mental health. I was listening to a truck driver talk yesterday. You all familiar with the content creator, Big Ward? If you don't know, check him out on YouTube. His name is Big Ward. He's a trucker. And he talks about just what he sees as a trucker. And he talks about how for the past couple of 2 years, he hasn't worked a full week, like meaning moving his truck, doing deliveries and things because of the economy. He talked about how when we're doing bad, regular people are doing bad, truckers are doing bad. And he said the reason why that is because we rely on you all to spend money. Because when you're spending money, you're ordering shit, so we got to move it. It makes sense to me. Think about it. What the freak do the truck driver got to move if I ain't buying ish or you ain't buying nothing? We ain't ordering nothing from Amazon. What is there to move? There's nothing. Air? What are we moving? He said it all goes hand in hand. He was like, y'all not spending money like that. So because you're not spending money like that, the trucks aren't moving like that anymore. There's nothing to move. It's bad. It's bad. He was like, I don't live off of just my money from driving a truck. I got to have multiple streams, multiple hustles going on because I'm not getting to it like that. I haven't gotten to it like that in a very long time. If you're a truck driver, you know someone who is, talk about it, because the reality of the situation is that people aren't spending money like they used to. I tell you all that when I listen to different contents, I like to get different content centered around just anything, but this channel is centered around politics. So when I listen to the political content, I look in the comments, and I like to look in the comments because I want to know how everyday people are feeling about what's going on. The comments are going to tell you. So anytime you all, when you're listening to videos, take the time and look in the comments, even if you don't leave one. But if you are able to leave one to add to keep the conversation going, do so, because it's very telling of how people are feeling about what's going on today. They talking about it. People do not feel secure in their jobs. They called it, y'all. I just learned about this new term this morning called the job hugging. Y'all heard of that? So job hugging is now that people are so fearful. American people are so fearful of losing their jobs to where they're doing whatever they can to try to hold on to it. Even if they hate it, they don't like it, they're not leaving those jobs. They showed on the charts where how from 2020 up until now, y'all remember the wave? Some of y'all experienced it because I was a part of it where you left your job and went and got another job, where you quit, the mass exodus. Y'all remember that? And it showed that the highest peak was actually 2022, which is when I left my job at that time and went to where I work at now. That was like the peak. But in 2020, people was on this F this. People was moving around. People was moving around. So you see the chart. So it started from like 2020. It shows. So it shows like the going up, and then you see it kind of start going down in 24, and damn near in the pits of hell in 25. People not leaving jobs anymore. If they're leaving, they're being forced out. They're not just quitting and just going to another job. And then also when it was showing that people who are like, okay, so in 2020, it showed people who left, changed jobs, when they went to a different job, they earned about on average 10% more. Then in 2022, remember when I was a part of that group, the height, when people were leaving jobs, they made about 20% more. Now they're saying in 2025, when people are leaving their jobs, they're only making about 7% more, which is equating to the same amount of money that people are making with just staying on their jobs and maybe getting a new position internally. So they're not leaving the company now to go on to make like way more. It's almost like it's comparable to where the monies that they're making is comparable to the money that they'd be making just had they stayed. So that's what they're seeing with people who are leaving. But a lot of people are not leaving, not by choice. They're like, I'm holding on to this little job because I don't know. It's hard out here. I say it's hard out here for a pimp. Pimping ain't easy. This struggle right here is worldwide. Everybody's struggling. Pimping ain't easy. It's hard out here. So people are holding on to these jobs. They're not quitting. As we're seeing these changes with jobs and people not being at these jobs, being on these jobs is primarily rooted in people being removed from their jobs. Like there was something over the summer in the media talking about Black women, how right now I think over 300,000 Black women have left the workforce. And I see people kind of get upset about the terminology of left the workforce. These people primarily have been removed because a lot of Black women work government jobs. And when Trump came in and he started impacting, those government jobs, that impacted the jobs for a lot of Black women. So there's a lot of Black women who don't have jobs because of that. It wasn't that they just said, oh, I'm just going to go and sit at home. The job was removed from them and they had good jobs. And Black women, we're one of like a heavy, I believe the stat is Black women holds the higher number of like advanced degrees. So like with the masters and things like we got a lot of education. I'm included in that number. I have a lot of education. But here's the thing. Having a lot of education don't always translate to having a lot of job opportunities or translate to making a lot of money. Mm-mm. Don't think that, y'all. Don't think that these Black women are people who got all these degrees and education experience that is translating to them having all these job opportunities or making a lot of money. Nope, it translates to debt. The only thing you can probably bank on is that they got debt. You can bank on that. But that was the biggest trick. that was done onto the American people, that if you go to school and get all this education and get these advanced degrees, you'll be able to live the American dream and have all these things that we see in the movies. And we've come to learn that that is so far from the truth. I would say, yeah, most American people don't own a home and have never owned a home. I'm not sure that stat. Maybe somebody can look it up. What percentage of the American people are homeowners? Then go into what percentage of Black people, minority people are homeowners. So, what we've learned is that education does not always, and when I say education, I mean higher education, college education does not always translate to get into the money. It doesn't. So, that's why I say on here all the time, if there's something else, if you want a trade school, um, entrepreneurship. I talked about car washes. Carlos said they get into the money in Los Angeles, $3,000, $5,000 a day at the car wash. So let's just say, what on average, they probably with car wash and detail on average, what in LA, what we probably maybe talking about $120 a pop probably per car. I don't know. I'm just thinking because I know California things cost more. I'm from California. I'm from Northern California, but things are expensive. I left in '96 when I was a teenager in high school because my mother had a job transfer. So that's how I ended up in Georgia. I live in Georgia, outside of the city. I live in outskirts. You call it Metro Atlanta, outside. So I live in the suburbs. But things are expensive in California. But you don't have to just get to the money by way of going to college. That's what I'm saying. Education is great, but it has to make sense because not all career fields require a college degree or an advanced degree. I will admit I have a lot of education, more education than really what I need. More, way more than what I need. But when I was getting this education, it was on the notion of in order to get here, I got to do this. And that was not true. That's not true. So do your research, have conversations with people, learn, listen to them, ask them if they had anything, had things to do all over again, what would they do different? They may tell you, oh, I wouldn't have probably gone and got that degree. I maybe would have gotten a certificate because I learned I really didn't need that. Or I learned that I could have just got this entry job and just worked my way up because that's what my boss did. And I got all this education and my boss just worked his way up, or my boss got a certificate, did some online little thing. You know what I'm saying? Like some little minute training that the job probably paid for. You just got to ask because what they say is more than one way to skin a cat. Like it's just not one way of doing things. And many of us came up during a time where we were told that it was a certain way that you had to do things, and if you did things in a different way, it was frowned upon. If you didn't go to college or your children wasn't college bound, people you were looked at sideways. No, make it make sense. Do your research. Make sure that whatever you're interested in, it makes sense for you to do it the way that you're set out to do it. Just make sure it makes sense. And then here's another one. If you're about to go to school and get these student loans, make sure that the earning potential is there to pay that ish back, because that's another one out there. You got these student loans, this education that's so overpriced, and then the earning potential, the salary, the math ain't mathing for you to even, you done got a six-figure education, but the earning potential for that job is a $50,000. Listen, I ain't making this ish up. Like y'all better look into this ish. How you finna pay back that six-figure student loan and your earning potential is 50, 60,000? Make it make sense. You gonna stay on a soup line with about 3, 4 roommates. 3, 4 of them, because one roommate ain't gonna cut it. You don't need 3 or 4. We need multiple roommates. It's hard. Just research. So I just push that, to my kids, like, listen, Linda, listen. Make it make sense, because you don't want to be in a situation like many Americans where you have the student loan debt and you don't make the money to pay it back. And I truly believe that most people who hold student loans, if they had it, they would pay it back. I think the average person wants to settle their debts. I don't think the average person wants to go around accepting things from people, making promises, and they don't want to keep them. I don't think that's just how we're wired. I think the average person is wired to want to do right by people, to want to take care of themselves, to want to be responsible. I just got that type of faith, I guess, in people. And I think that if the average person had the money to be able to pay back their student loan debt, they would. I just believe that. I believe that. And I think the reason why the student loan debt is what it is because people just don't have it. They cannot afford it. Tim said, pay that loan off as soon as possible. What? With your looks, a lot of people ain't got the money to pay it off. Listen, people losing jobs. Where's the money coming from to pay it off? People are worried about being able to put food on the table tonight on Wednesday. They're like, hell, what's for dinner? What are we going to eat? I got $50 until payday. I got, payday ain't for another week. I still got to put gas in the tank because I got to drive to work. The kids still need lunch money. Tim said the car wash. Listen, why you playing like that's a viable option? The car wash. I got $50. You got to get gas. So listen, we got $50. We got gas. We still got to get. We still need to eat, and we got 2 kids. $50. Gas. Still need to get some put food on the table, and we got 2 kids. And you a single parent. It's just you thugging it out, or you got a partner, you got a wife, and y'all just got $50 left. Still from Peter to pay Paul. You trying to figure out, okay, well, what we can do without. All right, then maybe I can not go to work on this day. All right, then let me see. Do I got some PTO time or something to where if I don't go to work 2 days, I can still get paid? Everybody don't have PTO time on their jobs to where when they don't go to work, they can still get paid. Vacation time. Some people work jobs to where they like, well, Sheik, my job, if I don't work, I don't get paid. So even though I'm down to $50, if I don't go to work, I'm going to be down bad for the upcoming week or whatever because my check going to be smaller because I didn't go to work those other 2 days when I didn't have the gas money. You see the situation people are in. So why I understand why people's mental health is what it is, which is not good. Another fun fact about me, for those of you who are new to my channel, my background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which means that I can be a counselor, a therapist. I can do all of that type of work in a professional setting if that's what I want to do based off of my education. So that's what that means. So mental health, I'm versed in all the mental health disorders, all of that. I walk around diagnosing people all day. You got people who got some things going on with them, and I can see it. So I guess that's an advantage I have because, baby, you meet the description of the bipolar disorder. So, but by me, being familiar and having the background, thanks, Virtuous. See you. Have a good day. Thank you so much for not being the mod. Uh, it helps me to kind of deal with people because I see that people are going through it. A lot of people are really going through it. And because of my background, I'm able to navigate through that, as far as with protecting myself because I'm seeing things, that is presenting. But also it helps me to know how to kind of gear conversations with the person because I'm seeing certain things. You see, so even though I don't operate in a capacity as a counselor for my job, I'm always counseling. even when I'm on as a content creator, I'll throw in things centered around mental health. The way that I deliver information, I'm a counselor at heart, I'm a teacher at heart. So it's my God gift, I believe my calling is to teach and to inform. And then so when I prayed about wanting to know what my calling is and it was revealed counseling, then from there, that's when I decided to go back to school and get my education, get a degree in the clinical mental health counseling. So this how I know some of the ish that I know. But y'all, most of this stuff I be talking be straight common sense. This stuff don't be that deep over here. It's just be common sense and discernment. You do not need all this education to know a lot of this stuff that I know. I don't even hit y'all with most of the stuff from education. Really, most of my content I hit y'all with, it's 80% common sense. 80% common sense. It's just, being aware. You just got to be aware. Be aware of what's going on. Be in the know. Have the desire to want to know. Because when you know better, you do better, and it helps you to be able to protect yourself and you know what's coming down the pipeline. It's not centered around fear, nothing like that. It's centered strictly around awareness. So therefore, when you become aware, you can spread the word and make the next person aware. You see how this goes? Each one teach one. We be on some type of each one teach one type of time over here. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what at least my channel, She Speaks on it about. I don't know what them other channels about, but that's what this channel is about over here. It's just about bringing awareness when it comes to just what's going on in the USA, um, and politics, because everything that we're seeing, it's having an impact on me and you, good or bad. It's impacting people in different ways, everybody. And that's what motivated me to talk politics on this channel, because it became personal. Good morning. What's up, Dr. J? It became personal. I was like, I got to talk about this. It became personal. And so I started being tapped in and paying more attention to what was taking place out here when it came to politics, because before I never had an interest in politics. People would say, "Hey, Sheik, you should talk about," and I'm like, "No, for what?" Because for me to do something and to do it well, I have to be passionate about it. Otherwise, it's not going to come off. It's not going to, I got to care. And then I didn't care. Prior to 2025, I did not care. I care now. So that's how I'm able to deliver the content the way I'm able to deliver it, because I care. It's rooted in something. There's feelings. I give a damn. You know when somebody don't care. Just like how we seeing with these politicians, you can tell when somebody don't care. It's the energy. You pick up the energy that they don't care. I'm a passionate person. So when I go in, I go in. I don't half-ass anything just when it comes to anything that I do. So politics, I'm passionate about because it impacts me. It impacts my loved ones, um, family, neighbors, you all, people who aren't even as fortunate as me or have the things that I have. Because y'all, in my mind, I'm like, hell, if I'm going through it and my situation is this, and I'm married and this my lifestyle, and I got this house and these vehicles, and I'm still feeling it, I can only imagine those who don't have half of the things I have, what they're going through, or those who are doing this thing called life alone, those who are parenting, raising children alone, like all of that, who got it tougher than me. Like, I'm empathetic for things like that. Like, to me, I'm like, wow, like, I feel you. Like, I feel you. Like, let's talk about it, because I know, like, I have no problem. Like, some people struggle with putting themselves in other people's shoes. I don't struggle with that. That comes very easy for me. Again, that's just common sense discernment type, to where if somebody is a parent and they're doing it alone, then it makes sense that it's going to be a challenge at the crib. That it's going to be some hard times when the person is doing it by themselves. Y'all, that's just common sense. They ain't got nothing to do with nan degree that I told y'all I got, because I only told y'all about one. That's just one of multiple degrees I have. That's just the latest one. That ain't got nothing to do with that. I can tell, just me knowing that somebody then lost their job and they was the only breadwinner in the house, and they got a wife, they got kids. It understand that they going through it and they need a few dollars? Like, read the room. Read the room. Read the room. So I know how to read the room and use common sense. So y'all don't ever think that just because somebody got all the education in the world that they better than you. Because that's not so. That's not so. That is not so. We become educated starting with the desire to want to know. Start there. Listen, take notes. It starts with a desire to want to know, to a desire to want more. And then from there, you start asking questions. How to get to what it is or get to where you're wanting to go. The question starts to form. Write them down. Asking you shall receive. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. You got to just want more. Do you want more? Start there. I ain't say ish about no damn degree. I just said, do you want more? If you want more, guess what? You can have more. How about that? If you want more, you can have more. Period. Somebody can't want something for you more than you want it for yourself. How about that? Someone cannot want more for you than you want for yourself. If you want more, you want something in particular, you have to stop and figure out how to get to it. How to get it. Figure it out. Ask questions. If you see someone else has what you want, ask them how did they get it. Ask them how they get it. See somebody got it? Like, I see your car wash. You said, now, Carlos, you said you pulling in how much? You say you pulling in 3,000 to 5,000 a day at the car wash? Now, Carlos, now, come on. You got a few minutes, Carlos? You on break? Because I got some questions I'm trying to figure out. So how'd you start this up? You see what I'm saying? You stop and you ask and you probe. You figuring it out. You don't need no education. A car wash? What? That's starting with somebody having good work ethic, taking pride in what they do. 10 says, stop the cap, Carlos. Listen, this is California. Maybe you came in late. In California, Carlos works at the car wash. Keep in mind, everything is more expensive in California. I can believe it. It's a business. Cars coming through. Los Angeles, stop it. I can believe it all day long. It's a business. We don't even know how large the car wash is. I live in Georgia. Some of these car washes, they're pretty big. They're big. You got some small ones, but you got some big ones. These car washes ain't cheap either. Especially if you getting a membership one too. Like I have a membership, so I pay monthly for the car wash. So that can add up. So Carlos ain't lying. That man is not lying. When you know, you know. You might not be somebody who paid for a car wash experience on a regular. I do. And I know how much I pay. So when you times that by however many people, baby. So like I said, the car wash. What goes into starting up a business centered around a car wash? How much money does it start? Does a startup for a startup? How much? Like you got to go. This is again, you start by brainstorm. What is it that you want to do? Start forming the questions you have. And then identify people who you can go to that take these questions to. Or just go to the internet and put it in Google if you don't have a person. But you're seeking out the information. Everything it starts there. That's where knowledge starts from. It don't start from the college. I'm just saying. And this is somebody who's college educated. It doesn't start there. Mm-mm. It starts from a desire to want something. What do you want? What do you want? Question of the day, honor students. What do you want? Ask yourself that. That's today's lesson. We're going to figure out what we want and figure out how to get to it. No better time than now, especially as people losing jobs, needing to reinvent themselves, people hearing about AI coming in and taking over this and that. What do you want? What's something you've been putting off that you like, you know what? I need to sit my ASS down somewhere because I've been putting this off. That's me over the weekend. There was something, a certification, been putting it off because I've been in my YouTube bag, just grinding out on that. And I'm like, you know what? I need to prioritize this. I need to prioritize this. So that's what I'm doing because me prioritizing it impacts my career, my real life, where my livelihood, like how I live. So I need to be able to try to juggle both because YouTube, y'all, I be playing around. I mean, y'all, I don't live off this YouTube. Like, this is what I do, but I don't live off of anything. Y'all, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. YouTube is just like playground for me. Like my life, nothing that you all see me have, nothing I have is because of YouTube. It's YouTube. It's just what I'm doing. But I'm not someone whose livelihood is built on YouTube. There's a lot of people whose lives are, more power to you, but that's not my life. And I'm thankful for that because this internet stuff, everything is so fickle. What they say, don't have all your eggs in one basket. I like content creation, but I can just kind of fall back at any given time and still be good because my livelihood isn't dependent on it. And you got so many content creators that you see who they got to keep doing it no matter how burnt out or tired or exhausted they get because that's their life. They've centered their life around the YouTube. Like their house, everything is, they got to do content creation. That's not my story. But that's the story of a lot of people. So probably a lot of your favorite content creators, that's their story. They got to do what they got to do. So you see them all the time. They just listen. They got to eat, but that's not my story. So I am thankful for that. But what is my story is that I have a whole nother life that does pay for all my things. So I cannot neglect that and not pour into that. So that's what I tell you all. That's why the instruction for today's lessons, honor student, think about what it is that you want. What do you want? Start forming questions around them and then seek out the answers. Utilize chat gpt, utilize just Google search, utilize just people in your lives so you can ask questions. And this idea of a car wash may mean something for some of you. Starting out with a hand car wash. In my community, there's this one car wash. It used to be one of them like drive-through ones, like at the gas station, and I don't think it don't that doesn't even work anymore. So it's this other business now that I guess the gas station let them be there, and they do everything detail, everything by hand. Always stay busy. So figure it out. Maybe that may be a viable option for some of you. A car wash, so as simple as it may sound. Just think about it. Mobile detailing, where you can go into um, companies and on people's lunch breaks or whatever while they're working, detail their vehicles. Or in your community, if you have the neighborhood app, post on the neighborhood app, hey, I wash cars. I can come to your house in the community and wash your car in your driveway for however much you want to charge. They ain't even got to go nowhere. They in the house Netflixing and chill, trying to think about how they about to get them some. And they car outside getting washed. You paying them through the Zelle, the Cash App. You see what I'm saying? Listen, some of y'all probably about to start a whole new business. Like, you been damn gave me an idea. Thank you so much, Dr. J, for plugging that. Membership's $2.99 if you are interested in becoming a political honor student. Become a member. Your name will show up in color, always priority with reading your comments. If you want to show support, also liking the video, watching the content, super chats as little, however much as however you want. That also will come up in color as well. Tim, you said cutting grass. Yeah, all these things, because these are things that people need. We have, like, I have a guy, like a company who does my lawn. Like, my husband haven't cut the grass in years because he doesn't have time. A lot of times people are willing to pay for things that, like, people are willing to pay for things to save time, because what they say, time is money. So it's probably been about 3 years since my husband last did anything yard related. We have someone who does it, who comes, I don't know, it's on the schedule. It's on the schedule. It's multiple people in the neighborhood. It's just on a schedule. So that is a thing where people like, shit, I ain't got time. And child, don't let you wait and let the damn grass get too high. Now you out there trying to cut and it's too damn, you like, I can't do this. I seen my neighbor do it. He let the grass get so long. He one day he tried. He couldn't even do it. Next thing you know, I ain't never seen that man outside again cutting grass. He got the people. I think he had the same people that we got just cutting his grass. He like F that. He was a new father, had little kids. You ain't got time to be out there cutting grass. You working. You got these little kids at home. You ain't got time. That man did not finish cutting that grass. I see that grass was high as hell, y'all. He couldn't get the damn lawnmower through because he had let the damn grass grow so damn high at the time. The babies was about, they got two kids now. At that time when he let the damn grass grow high, I think they only had one. The baby was about 1 year old. Nerves just shot. I know. I've been there, done that. Nerves shot. Y'all, that man, I seen him out there trying to push through that grass. Next thing you know, he disappeared. So you had the little part that he cut through, and then the rest of the damn forest, because it looked like a damn forest. And then I seen the people who cut my grass, the workers cut that man ain't cut no grass in about 2 years. It's been about 2 years since he cut grass, and he got another kid too. He like, ain't nobody got time for that. So yes, y'all, figure it out. That's what today we gonna figure it out. Like the video, like, share, subscribe. We figuring it out today. But y'all, I have arrived. Y'all go out into this world, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Like attracts like. Take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the taking care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself and somebody else. Just be nice. It's the little things, I always like to say. It's the little things. It's just the little things. Smile. Make someone smile. Something figure out something you can do that's different than what you've been doing. How about that? Do more today than what you did yesterday. We'll just start there. We're going to do more today than what we did yesterday. Today is a whole new day. Today's a whole new day. We're going to do more today than what we did yesterday. We're going to figure it out. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about it. We're going to figure it out together. But I done gave y'all some ideas. Tim said the grass. I said the car wash. But you all, these are low-cost startup businesses. So you can do it. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Y'all be a part of Replay Gang if you came in late. Just watching the content is just like the biggest support you can show, because as content creators, it's just about watch time and just watching the content. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you got the notification bell on, because I don't know when I'm going to go live. I don't know. Sometimes I do a pop-up evening Car Chronicle on my ride home. But typically my Car Chronicles is in the morning on my ride in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I didn't go in to the office yesterday. So no Car Chronicle yesterday. But Devin, thank you. New subby. Thank you so much. Yeah, stay tuned, y'all, because y'all know I'll be back and I'll be talking, because I'm always talking, always got something to say. Make it a great day. Peace.